IDC. And I think with that, we are ready to get started. It is 5:35. Our presenter is here. We are happy to have again with us on tonight covering this three-part series, Mr. LeVar Haffney. LeVar Haffney is a small business expert. He has been working in a multi-state region helping small businesses. Originally working out of New York and New York City. He has been in Philadelphia, I think, for about the last year and a half. And we are very, very fortunate to have him working with us, providing you with very high quality information that's going to help you grow, stabilize your business. Last night, again, we covered cash flow. Tonight, again, we are covering optimizing your operations, how to scale your business. And so with that, LeVar, take it away.
Thank you, Marla. Really appreciate the introduction, and good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedule. We have an interesting presentation for you today. We are going to show you how you can actually optimize your operations and prepare your business for scale. So let me go ahead and pull that up for you. Okay. So what is business optimization? We're also going to cover why is it important, digital transformation, communication, marketing, inventory, e-commerce, building a team. We'll share some strategies and tips, and we'll also have some Q&A. And as Marla mentioned, the resources that I will provide during this webinar are available on the PIDC website. So what is business optimization? Business optimization is the process of identifying and implementing new methods that make the business more efficient and more effective. It's the process of measuring the efficiency, productivity, and performance of your business. And it's reducing waste and repetitive tasks so that you can focus on what you do best, which is serving your customers and becoming more profitable. Now, why is it important? Business optimization helps you to reduce costs while improving performance, improving your efficiency, greater adaptability, and increased information and accountability for all of the people that are involved in your business. Now, it's important when it comes to adaptability. As you know, running a business during this time has been pretty challenging. There's a lot of uncertainty. Many small business owners were unable to pivot. They were unable to continue to serve their customers, and they may not reopen their doors again. If we're able to pivot and implement some of the tools and tips that are available in this webinar, you'll certainly emerge on the other side of this pandemic as a more viable concern and a more sophisticated business person. Optimizing your business allows for greater employee engagement, improved communication, time savings, and allows you to focus on improved profitability, of course. Now, improving your operations in today's day and age essentially comes down to digital transformation. Now, digital transformation is the integration of digital technology into all areas of your business. It helps to enhance customer experiences, helps you make better decisions, and allows you to take advantage of technology to inform how your business runs. So moving your processes from manual processes to digital processes, eliminating waste, minimizes paperwork, and allowing your employees greater access and flexibility over the tools that are used to run your organization. Now, with digital transformation, mobile devices and social media is leading the charge. Ever since the explosion of mobile devices, new apps are released onto the market every year that help us to optimize the business functions that we need to run our business, whether it's accounting software, inventory management software, time tracking applications, or cloud-based marketing solutions. All of these different applications can be run on mobile devices. They're accessible at any time, at any place, by anyone that you give access to. And on the other side, customers have greater access to you through digital transformation. Your business is enhanced because customers have a greater insight into your business. Your business now has a virtual customer service desk through the use of some of these digital transformation tools. And we'll show you how you can incorporate those into your business. Customers want 24-hour access to companies that they do business with. Customers want a personalized shopping experience. And digital transformation helps your business do more with a lot less. Now, one of the main foundations of digital transformation is communication. These apps will help you to manage your business's relationships with customers and employees, help you stay connected in real time, 24/7, anywhere in the world, enable users to share information at the same time, and there are no installation or maintenance costs. Years ago, when we would purchase different software for our business, you would need to download it onto your hard drive, and there probably were different costs associated with purchasing the software and managing the software. In today's cloud-based environment, it's very easy for you to get up and running right away. And the management is actually done off-site, so you really don't have to worry about continuous upgrades. Some of the communication tools that are available for small businesses include SamePage, Slack, and TalkSpirit. There are a lot of other platforms as well, whether you're using Google Meet, you could be using Zoom or Microsoft Teams. These platforms allow you to communicate in real time with your employees, with your vendors, and any other stakeholders you invite into the conversation. You can even use these particular platforms as a way to manage your customer service experience. Many companies are doing it, and it's an inexpensive way to manage your communications, and it allows you to scale that communication. If you're bringing on a new employee, you can plug them right into the communication matrix, and they can communicate with the different individuals in your organization or outside of your organization based on their job description. Next, we have marketing. When it comes to marketing, as a component of digital transformation, you are essentially moving your manual, traditional marketing processes from print to digital. This helps you reduce the cost of creating and distributing the marketing material. You have less wasted marketing material. We've all had those experiences where someone handed you a flyer, or you came outside of a store and there was a flyer on your windshield, and you just threw it into the garbage. It was wasted marketing material. It wasn't of interest to you. So therefore, you just discarded it. By implementing digital marketing strategies, you will avoid any of those wasted marketing dollars. And digital transformation marketing allows for increased customization, whether you're sending out marketing in the form of email marketing, newsletters, blogs, or you're marketing on social media, or you're using a combination of all of the above. You can customize your particular marketing strategies to impact certain audiences based on a variety of demographics. If it's gender-based, if it's income-based, or geographic-based, you can certainly benefit from those increased customization strategies that digital marketing platforms provide. Now, 3 of the most popular digital marketing platforms for small business owners include HubSpot, Salesforce, and Untitled. Now, each of these platforms also have what is called customer relationship management software or customer relationship management applications built into their platform. And they all allow you to scale. So if you're starting out and you only have 50 customers, you can scale with Salesforce up to 5,000 customers, or Untitled or HubSpot. And you can manage your marketing strategy directly from their platform, switch over to CRM capture customer data through different forms that you may send out. You can create surveys, you can create feedback material and send that at no cost, or essentially no cost, directly to your customers that are in your customer relationship management platform. By providing these integrated tools, it's going to save you time, save you money, it's going to keep you in front of your customers, and it's going to streamline your customer engagement process and therefore increase your opportunity to generate more income. Now, another component of digital transformation marketing includes taking control of your online business profile. Now, what that means is, for instance, there is a platform called Google Your Business or Google My Business. And what that is it allows you to set up a page for your business. Now, a lot of people don't think that there's value in that, but there certainly is, because what Google is doing now with that business page is they want to make it the central hub for your business presence. A lot of people in the past have built out websites and may have implemented search engine optimization so that their website could appear on the first page if someone's searching for accountants in Philadelphia or a hairstylist in Philadelphia. And you would really try to get your website to rank on the first page. With Google My Business, the hub is actually going to be that Google business profile page. And from that Google business profile page, there are algorithms that are going to essentially send traffic to your website, to your business social media page, and other business pages that you currently have online. So what you want to do is capture all of your, either it's a Google My Business profile, Bing for your business, Yelp, or any of those review sites that are going to capture customer traffic, capture reviews, and enable people to find you online. Social media is the new customer service desk. Whether you're using Twitter or Facebook for business, or you're using Yelp for reviews, all of those platforms have social components, and people are going to leave reviews. Most of the time, they're going to take their time out to leave a negative review. But what we want to do is address those negative reviews, show customers that we're willing to resolve their issues in real time in front of the entire world, full transparency, and that's going to allow you to build trust between your customers. And get to know your followers and their likes and wants. When people are following you through these platforms, they're going to share a lot of information about themselves. You may produce a particular product and customers may love your product, and you may hear their chatter. You may hear the chatter on Twitter, or you may hear the chatter on Yelp, and they may say, I wish this particular item came in this particular color. So right there, you know, to produce that particular color, you have a new item to sell, and you can increase profitability by selling into existing demand, as opposed to creating something and then trying to market it and sell it. So listen to your customers, get to know them, find out what they want, and design products around the demand that already exists. So some of the key platforms are Google My Business, Bing Places for Business, Yelp, and Manta. Manta is an interesting platform. There's a lot of information. You can go on there, create your platform at no cost. Of course, they have different features that you can incorporate into your marketing strategy if you choose to upgrade. But it's certainly viable for business owners to capture their presence on each of these platforms. There's so many more out there. You can just Google review sites and find ones that work for you. Some are more intuitive than others. Some integrate with existing marketing systems to capture data. So you want to be aware of that. But they certainly can help people find you online, drive traffic to your website. Now, if you have a business where you are carrying inventory, this is for you. Digital transformation inventory management systems help you manage manufacturing, distributing, selling, servicing, or managing goods. A comprehensive suite of solution that you can access on any device, whether it's a mobile device, your smartphone, your tablet, or if you're using a laptop. They integrate with your accounting platforms, whether it's QuickBooks Online or Xero or NetSuite. They also integrate with e-commerce platforms. If you're selling on Amazon or Shopify, you can certainly build out a comprehensive platform using these integrated applications. And these apps help you centralize and streamline your supply chain process. Your vendors and your suppliers can plug right in. If you're placing an order, it'll be done in real time. They'll receive the order right away, and you can manage your inventory levels right from any device at any given moment. Now, 3 of the most popular inventory management systems or applications for small business owners include Fishbowl, which is essentially geared towards QuickBooks Online and Xero. You also have Ordoro and Sin7. There are so many different platforms out there. There are industry-specific platforms, but these generally will work regardless of your industry. They're pretty agnostic, and they're really easy to get up and running. Now, ever since the pandemic began, a lot of different businesses were caught off guard because some of the channels, the distribution channels that they had available to them in the past closed. If you were a retail-oriented businesses, or if you were a restaurant, people were unable to access the products or the services that you provided. What some companies decided to do was to migrate from providing that particular product or service in a bricks and mortar location to embracing e-commerce. Now, many of us are familiar with e-commerce. We use these platforms, we order online, but we may not have chosen to use this distribution channel in our particular business. If you haven't done so already, now is the time to pivot. E-commerce helps you build a larger customer base. Customers choose e-commerce for a variety of reasons: the convenience, the price, the fact that they may be living in a particular environment where the social distancing restrictions prohibit them from engaging in brick and mortar businesses. Online shopping offers a lot more options to customers and also to business owners. And of course, you have lower labor and tax costs. Now with with e-commerce, there isn't a need to carry inventory, so there's less inventory and warehouse cost. There's one-click ordering. It's interesting, Amazon introduced one-click ordering and their sales have actually increased. A lot of buyers are impulsive. So if you're providing something that already has an existing demand, you can certainly benefit from providing your products on an e-commerce platform. There are more advanced payment options that are available. In addition to the standard credit cards, American Express, Discover, Visa, and MasterCard, you also have the opportunity to receive payment via Cash App or Zelle, PayPal, or a variety of other payment platforms. And it's also easier to refund, return, and generate referrals through e-commerce. By utilizing the existing platforms out there, such as Amazon, Alibaba, or Shopify, you can certainly optimize your distribution channels, generate more sales, and provide a higher level of service for a lot of your customers. Now, these 3 are probably the largest e-commerce platforms that many business owners are using to distribute their products or services. There are others out there. If you have the time and the interest, you can also incorporate e-commerce solutions into your existing website. Companies like Wix or Weebly, if you're using those platforms, they have apps that are built into the platform, which allow you to implement an e-commerce solution so that customers can purchase directly from your site and you're not sharing your revenue with some of these larger platforms. It really depends on how you'd like to operate your business. Of course, companies like Amazon and Shopify have turnkey solutions. It takes a little bit more involvement if you're using a third-party platform like a Weebly or a Wix, but you can certainly get it up and running in no time. And when you're building out your digital transformation strategy, you want to build a virtual team. Now, in this day and age with social distancing, a lot of us are working from home. Some of us have not fully returned to the office. We may be working on a hybrid model, but by building a virtual team, you can leverage online communities of talented people across the globe. You can find specialized skill sets outside of your local area. You can avoid the overhead of the office, and you can scale up or down quickly. By building a virtual team, you're not bringing on permanent employees. You're bringing on project-based employees or freelancers that help you accomplish particular tasks at a particular price. It's a lot more cost-effective. They're a lot more flexible. You don't have to worry about paying benefits, and it helps you to utilize skill sets that may not even be available in your local area at the price point that you're willing to invest in. So it's certainly something to consider, especially during these times with so many people working from home, and they're willing to lend you their skills on certain platforms to help you build your business. Building a virtual team is going to help you keep labor costs down. You can move quickly and efficiently on tasks. You'll have more hiring options available to you, and you can find talent that you can trust based on their profiles. If you're looking for online talent, the two main platforms that you're going to find these individuals on are Fiverr or Upwork. A lot of individuals are, again, they're working from home now. They're taking on project-based work to keep themselves busy, to diversify their income, or just to take on a challenge. Many people will love to help small businesses, and you can certainly find individuals on here that have a variety of skills who can help you build your business. Now, depending on the nature and the complexity of the project you're looking for, Upwork is a platform where you will find individuals who have bookkeeping or accounting experience. They may be IT professionals or attorneys. There are a lot of sophisticated individuals on Upwork. On Fiverr, you'll have a different set of individuals with different sets of skills. You'll find website designers on Fiverr, individuals that can help you with creating a marketing strategy, SEO or search engine optimization professionals who can help your website rank higher on certain search engines. You'll even find professionals who can help you build out and optimize your social media marketing strategy. So I would suggest signing up for each of these particular sites, reviewing the individuals that are on there who have the skills that you need to build your business, and reaching out and asking questions about some of the work that they've done and how you can utilize them to help you build out your digital transformation strategy. Now, there are several strategies and tips that I'd like to share. They include what you want to do is introduce new methods, practices, and systems to reduce your turnaround time. So for instance, if you were using manual processes to manage your employee time, you want to use certain apps such as T-Sheets, which integrates directly with accounting platforms like QuickBooks Online. That way you can monitor your timekeeping or your employees' time. Finding the apps that work for each particular operation in your business is going to help you lower your costs, reduce time, and empower your employees to be more productive, get their job done, and of course, it's going to impact your bottom line positively. You want to automate repetitive tasks. Obviously, we want to reduce costs while improving performance. You want to increase sales through customer interaction. If you already have the customer in front of you, find ways to sell them additional products or services. Now, if you're a service-based business, you can also incorporate some of these strategies. Many individuals, again, like attorneys or accountants who were working out of brick and mortar locations have now gone virtual. They're working on sites like Upwork or Fiverr, and they're helping individuals build their business. Think about how you can essentially virtualize your operations. If you may need to work with one of these freelancers to help you design a strategy to turn your traditional service into something that's a little bit more tangible that you can sell through an e-commerce platform. You also want to identify areas for improvement. Which areas of your business were either lackluster or underperforming prior to the pandemic? And what opportunities do you see now that are available to you in your industry or that you see your competitors have failed to take advantage of? Measure and compare your results using reporting features. Each of these apps have reporting features. If you're using your accounting software, if you're familiar with ways to pull up reports, like your income statement, your balance sheet, or your cash flow statement, you can utilize similar features in HubSpot's marketing portal. You can see how many individuals opened these emails that you sent out. You can see how many individuals responded to your email campaign. You can see which keywords in your email subject title have been most effective. So using reporting features in Salesforce, in Untitled, in HubSpot, in some of the inventory management systems will help you hone in on what's the most effective strategy going forward. And it will also help you retract and re-engage if what you're doing has not been working. You want to eliminate waste. Anywhere that you see you can save a few dollars, maybe a great opportunity for you to implement some of these apps. Again, it's about reducing cost, saving time, and increasing your revenue while not sacrificing productivity or employee morale. And you also want to hire freelancers to get you up and running. If you have challenges with some of these apps, most of these apps have they have these bots on the site. You can certainly connect with a live person, but they'll walk you through implementing and taking advantage of some of the features that these apps allow you to. And if you want to work directly with someone who has the experience, you have individuals on these sites that are certified HubSpot experts or Salesforce experts. Working with these individuals is much, much less expensive than hiring someone, bringing them in-house on a full-time basis. You can hire them for project-based work and continue to work with them if you choose to do so. But at least they'll get you up and running, and you'll have digitized one of your processes. You want to take advantage of disruption. We live in disruptive times. Things change every day. Next week is going to look very different from last week. You want to see what you can do to serve the customers that you currently have or the prospects that you've been trying to attract. There are going to be a lot of opportunities going forward. Look at the election next week and look at the opportunities that are going to be available in your industry. Look at what your competitors are doing or are not doing. What can you do better? What can you do cheaper? What can you do faster without sacrificing your margins and your productivity? When you are looking at some of these apps and when you're looking at bringing on freelancers, work it into your budget. If you haven't developed the budget using your accounting software, now is the time to do so. In last night's webinar, I mentioned that it's essential to create a cash flow forecast. When you are creating that cash flow forecast or those projections into the future that are going to essentially identify what you need when it comes to the income you expect to receive or the expenses that you expect to pay out, work some of these at the cost of some of these apps into your budget. Most of them will allow you to pay a monthly fee. Some of them will provide you with discounts if you pay annually, entirely up to you. Again, working into your budget. Get your employees involved. By bringing your employees into the fold, letting them know what you're working on. It's going to essentially help you to identify some blind spots that you may not have noticed. When you're looking at your operations from a particular vantage point, it looks one way. But when your employees who are actually on the ground every day and they're operating in that particular function, they may suggest a different app that you have not ever heard of or you haven't identified as of yet, and it may integrate more efficiently into your existing processes. So get your employees involved, ask them what they think about a particular app or a particular process. What can you do better? What can you do faster? How can we get it done cheaper without sacrificing quality? And how can we continue to serve our customers? And keep an eye on technologies that will drive growth in your business. There are tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of business apps out here. New ones are created every day. Identify the ones that your customers are using or identify the ones that your competitors are using, and look at which apps are popular in your industry. Look at the costs that are associated with these apps. Look how they can make your business a lot more efficient. And overall, let's not get caught up or let's not get overwhelmed by the variety that's available out here. Let's focus on core operations, find out the top 2 or 3 apps that are most popular in your particular industry for that operation, and sign up for the free trial. See how intuitive it is. See how your employees engage with the app, and see if it makes your processes a lot more streamlined, and as opposed to convoluting the process. And again, start with your core processes and build from there. If your accounting feature, your marketing feature, and your inventory management feature are the most important processes that you would like to digitize right now, focus on those. And then as you get those streamlined, then you can work on project management, or you can work on human resources or other operations, other apps that can help you streamline those particular functions. But start with the core and build from there. As you scale, keep your customer in mind. It's very easy for us to adopt new technologies, but what we don't want to do is make it difficult for the customer to engage with us and to purchase from us. So let's keep the customer at the center of our marketing strategy and at our digital transformation strategy, because ultimately we want to make it easier for them to communicate with us, to purchase from us, to share feedback with us, so we can build a more viable enterprise. Assess your organizational goals. Depending on your industry and the way you'd like to operate your business and even your customers, each of these apps may not work for you. QuickBooks Desktop may work best in your business, but you may want to outsource your digital marketing strategy using Salesforce or HubSpot. It's entirely up to you. You don't have to digitize everything, but again, it's making things easier for you, for your employees, for your customers, and ultimately putting yourself in a position to be a lot more successful, a lot more profitable while reducing waste. And get your service providers involved in sharing best practices. If you're communicating with your vendors and your suppliers, ask them what they've used to make interaction easier with their customers. They may be able to share best practices. They may let you know that Xero is better for your industry than QuickBooks Online because of X, Y, and Z. By having these conversations with your vendors and your suppliers, you'll certainly be able to adopt best practices. It'll save you time, money, and put you on a path to prosperity. You also want to have conversations with other service providers, such as your accountants, your bankers, and they'll provide you with information about what your competitors are doing. Now, they won't share any trade secrets, but they will let you know that some customers who operate beauty salons, most of them are using a Square's point of sale software, It integrates directly with QuickBooks. They're using Cash App to accept payments. If that's what's being done in your particular industry, don't reinvent the wheel. If it's working, adopt it, and you can move on to another process. There are many ways to actually adopt some of these strategies, but find what works for you and incorporate it as soon as possible. Again, we don't know what's going to happen on the other side of the pandemic. We don't know when it's going to end, but the sooner that we pivot, the better we will be in the long run. We can continue to serve our customers. We can continue to remain competitive, continue to generate cash flow, and put ourselves in the best position going forward. And at this time, do we have any questions?
No questions? How about this? Is there, LeVar, I know you go through a lot of this information fairly quickly. Is there some portion of this information that you find tends to be overlooked? Where are some of the weak spots? If we go back through the presentation, where are some of the weak spots? So for example, one of the things that stands out for me is, and it's particularly relevant, I think, during this time, is when you're thinking about how to optimize your business. One of the things that the pandemic has done is cause business owners to rethink their core business. Mm-hmm. And so many entrepreneurs get into business because it's something they enjoy, something that they like doing. But in the midst of a crisis, you may not necessarily like what you're doing, but there's an opportunity to generate revenue and provide people with what they need. So can you speak to that about how you meet a need in the time of a crisis and then generate revenue through that?
Absolutely. I think, so there are a variety of ways to do it. For example, I mentioned in last night's webinar, there was a hairstylist, and she was unable to continue to service her customers because of the pandemic, because of the social distancing restrictions. But what she did, because she had an online following, because she had customers who engaged with her through social media platforms, she was able to pivot and offer, how can I describe it? Essentially, she went from being a hairstylist to an image consultant, so to speak. So instead of just doing the hair, it was the entire image. It's the makeup, it's the clothing, it's the accessories, it's the shoes. And she would bring on individuals who had expertise in accessories or expertise in shoes, just to talk about ways to put together certain outfits. So instead of focusing on one segment or one portion of someone's image, she decided to provide a comprehensive solution. So that's a way to pivot. And there are a variety of ways if we are a little bit more creative about what we're offering and take advantage of what people are already looking for. A simple Google search about certain things that may be in demand will enable us to find out what opportunities may be available out there and what we can continue to sell to different people in the market.
I think one of the things that we've seen, we have heard how the hospitality industry has been hit so hard through the pandemic, and particularly restaurants. And yet restaurants seem to have been the industry that has pivoted so quickly and so easily. So if there's no indoor dining, so many restaurants turn to curbside pickup or takeout. And of course, those that started having outdoor dining are even still trying to be creative in how they can continue to offer outdoor dining during the colder months as we're heading into the colder months. I'm interested in some of the participants that we have on the line. What are some of the industries that you represent, and what could be, or what are you considering, or have you thought about as a pivot to augment what you're doing? Maybe you never thought of it before, but it's ancillary. And I would even say there may be if we think of tonight even as a brainstorming session, what is it that you're doing, and what does someone else think or comes to mind as something that you could possibly do? Who would be willing to raise their hand and share with us either how you've been able to pivot or something that you have been considering? So we do have a question from Eric. He asks, social media platforms, would you suggest more for business to business rather than business to consumer?
Very good question. LinkedIn, hands down. LinkedIn allows you to identify decision makers in companies, and you want to build a relationship with these individuals. Oftentimes, what we've seen on LinkedIn is that people would connect, and then as soon as they've connected, they're trying to sell their products or services. That's what you don't want to do on there. But you're going to play a long game on LinkedIn. If you're in B2B sales, you know that the sales process is a little bit more drawn out. But identifying these decision makers that you'd like to connect with, building a relationship through the platform, taking it offline, starting with a phone call, and then going through the sales process will certainly help you to generate income and generate or build your customer base through LinkedIn.
We also had a company that came to us during, so what we're in the, I guess, the second or third phase of this pandemic, but came to us because they had an opportunity to use their equipment for a different function. So they were manufacturing one thing, and all of a sudden they were able to realign the machinery to provide something else. We've had companies that were making clothes, and all of a sudden they started making masks, and they started making hospital gowns. And so I'm interested in hearing from some of you, what have been some of your thoughts about how do you optimize your business, particularly now? Any takers? If not any takers, LeVar, have you seen patterns of things that are happening now during the pandemic?
Yes. So it's interesting when you mentioned the restaurants. I thought about quite a few. Ones who have gone to curbside dining or delivery, I've noticed that they've changed their menus. So they scale down, and they essentially, I want to say McDonaldized, or they create this assembly line process where they're only selling these bundles, and they're selling them at a price point where they're still able to maintain their margins. So that's a way for them to pivot, still service their customers, still provide a great meal or great product, while still maintaining their margins. Of course, they have their overhead, but they're able to customize their menu and adapt to the current situation. I think that there are a variety of customers or a variety of businesses out there that can do that if they take a look at what they're offering from the customer's perspective. Ask the customer what they could do for them now. And 9 times out of 10, the customer is going to provide you with the intelligence that's going to help you build out a new product or services. So when you have that customer engagement, it's intelligence that you can incorporate right away and build out a new service offering. So that's something I think would be beneficial to a lot of business owners at this point.
And since we're talking about how to scale your business, we really are talking about during the time of this pandemic. So until we get a vaccine, companies are going to be navigating in uncharted waters. What do you see, as we talked last night about cash flow? What do you see as some of the imperatives in trying to grow your business in an imperative, and some of the mistakes or pitfalls that businesses should avoid during this time?
First and foremost, don't go dark. So what you don't want to do is to stop communicating with your customers, to stop communicating with your stakeholders, such as your lenders, your accountants, your attorneys. You want to let everyone know that you're still in business, you're still up and operating, and ask people in your network, how can I help you? Now, that may create a new opportunity for you. That may help you pivot. They may provide you with a different way of looking at what you've been offering, and it may help you take advantage of a new opportunity. So I would continue to communicate with everyone, maintain transparency. And what I would also suggest is to not take on new debt. You don't want to be in a situation where you're bringing on new debt, but you don't have the cash flow to satisfy that debt because some of your customers have been negatively impacted, and they just cannot continue to purchase your goods or your services. So make sure that you're not bringing on new debt. You're also optimizing your existing cash position. Last night's webinar, we discussed maintaining or building out a cash reserve, taking 10% of each of your receivables and putting that in a separate cash account. That way, if you ever get into a cash crunch, you can self-finance your way out of it without bringing on new debt. So being fully transparent, continuing to communicate with everyone, not taking on new debt, and building up a cash position during these times will certainly help you to enable you to become a stronger enterprise on the other side.
Also, when we talk about a pivot, sometimes we may not even think of it as a pivot. If we are maintaining those contacts, even within our network, where we may not think of an opportunity, but where entrepreneurs are gathered, there is creativity. So what is your perspective on entrepreneurs who are just getting together? I mean, we had, I think, 2 clients who were in the same vicinity, totally different businesses, and they came up with a concept of putting, one was a brewery, the other was a food producer, and they decided to partner together and come up with a box delivery service. So they would deliver the box, or you could pick up the box at the location. It was not anything that had been planned, but sometimes just interacting with other businesses. So in addition to maintaining your communications with your clients, what do you think about businesses trying to network during this time?
I think that's a fantastic idea. And the best places to network for business owners, surprisingly, are different Facebook groups and also on Twitter. By having conversations and engaging with different business owners, you're going to be able to bounce ideas off of each other. They may help you create new intellectual property, such as the entrepreneurs in your example, Marla. But it's also going to keep you active. Oftentimes we're working at home, we're alone. We may not think that other people understand our situation, but when you're connected to a community of entrepreneurs who are experiencing similar thoughts, similar feelings. It really helps you build that camaraderie, helps you to keep going. You can motivate each other, you can stay focused, and you can create these new partnerships. You may come across someone who's selling their business. They may provide you with attractive terms because they're ready to retire, and they just don't want to weather this storm. So you never know what kinds of opportunities are available unless you have these conversations with existing business owners at this particular time. And doing it virtually is the best way to do it because you can leverage technology and interact with a wide variety of people that you would probably never meet in real life or in physical life.
We talked early on in this pandemic about the option of e-commerce. And what we have found is not only has this saved so many people when you are trying to social distance, but I believe there will be, and I think the information, the data bears it out, this is a paradigm shift. And even with getting back to normal, when that happens, the idea that people have easy access to the internet to be able to purchase goods and services is not going to go away. And so one of the things we offered a webinar, I think it was last week, and we talked about technology. And if you missed that webinar on last Thursday, 2 weeks ago, Thursday, 2 weeks ago, we talked about technology for the small business, and LeVar offered just a plethora of internet software, cloud-based solutions that you should think about to make your business more efficient. Technology is not going away. So it is for you to make sure that you've got the right devices, cell phones, iPads, tablets, laptops, loaded with the right cloud-based software, so you are becoming more and more efficient. This is an opportunity for small businesses to really up their game and get more efficient. One of the things that we learned during this pandemic is small businesses had challenges accessing some of the emergency disaster funds because their computers either did not have the upgrades to be able to handle going onto certain portals or did not have the functionality to upload some of the documents. And so we've learned there were hundreds of small businesses that missed opportunities or had challenges with opportunities simply because they did not have the understanding of technology. So LeVar, if you would just talk briefly about the technology and the efficiencies that they bring and the efficiencies that will be needed as you are trying to scale the business.
Absolutely. In Marla's example, there were a lot of people who were unable to download PDF files. So for instance, if you needed to fill out a form 4506T, an IRS form, and you needed to upload it to the portal, if you didn't have that capability with your existing software package, you were just unable to do it. So you have to print out a form, fill it out, go to Staples, scan it, and send it off. Just by having the capability at home, you're able to auto-fill the form and auto-sign it using something like DocuSign. Or if a wet signature is required, print it out, auto-fill it, print it out, sign it, and then you can turn around and scan it at home. Something as simple as a Wi-Fi enabled scanner, printer, fax all in one. I found that many small business owners just didn't have one at home. But at the office, they had a large or legacy equipment that just isn't viable during these times. So getting yourself a $99 all-in-one scanner, printer, fax, having that at home is going to save you a lot of time. I think we had a conversation about the blue light glasses. A lot of us have suffered from Zoom fatigue. We're doing these webinars every day, and they do take a toll. It's very hard to have conversations virtually like this when you're used to having conversations in person. It can take its toll on the eyes by having and we're staring at a screen now. Instead of 4 or 5 hours a day, we're here at 8, 10, 12 hours a day. Some of us having that blue light filter in front of your screen, or if you have the glasses, it can certainly lessen the toll that it takes on your eyes, on your well-being, and allows you to work or be a lot more productive. So looking at your current tech stack or some of the equipment that you use or traditionally used in the office, finding ways to purchase what you need at home or for your home office, and having all of these pieces of equipment provide you with the same level of service that you required in your office is something that small business owners need going forward. And again, like as Marla mentioned, this is something that's the new normal.
So, and these are all things that we're talking about to help you become more efficient. And the more efficient you can become in your business, the more your business can grow, because you are then spending less time on some functions that have been manual functions. And now you are using cloud-based systems that leave you time to do some of those other things that you had not been. LeVar, also, if you can speak to the advantage, we talk about technology. What are the advantages and disadvantages to using cloud-based solutions versus having to download the software onto your computer?
Very good question. So some of the advantages include cost. So with a lot of the cloud-based solutions, they're a lot less expensive than some of the legacy solutions. So for instance, if you were utilizing QuickBooks Desktop, you had to download that software directly onto a hard drive, and that platform was stationary. If you needed to access that information, you had to be there. With something like QuickBooks Online or a Xero or a NetSuite, you can just grant access to your accountant, your tax advisor, or your bookkeeper, and they can access the platform on any device at any time. And it was just a lot more efficient. It was much less expensive and faster. So you want to implement these platforms so that you can save time and money and focus on what you do best, which is serving your customers. One of the concerns with cloud-based solutions is security. And we've all heard about how different companies have been hacked, whether it was Target or it was MasterCard. Those things do happen. That is a risk when it comes to cloud-based solutions, because the data is not held or is not kept on a device that you have direct access to and only you have access to. A lot of the data is encrypted, but nothing is foolproof. If it was built by humans, it certainly is possible that these things can be compromised. So there are ways to mitigate some security concerns, which includes purchasing what is called a virtual private network or VPN. We may have seen commercials like NordVPN. There are a variety of them. So it's a device that you keep at home. It's relatively small, and you keep it right under your desk. And that way, when you're exchanging files or you're sending information with someone, it's moving through your network. It's not just moving through your Wi-Fi provider or your internet provider's connection. And it's through this encrypted private network that you own and control at home. So that's just one way to mitigate the loss or your data being compromised. But again, nothing's foolproof. All we can do is implement certain solutions to mitigate any potential compromise or failure.
One thing I was thinking about, for all of the entrepreneurs who are on the call tonight, even if you may not be able to provide your service as you typically do, because people are so accustomed to being face to face. One of the things that I have found to be helpful, just think about the industry you're in and some of the nuances of your industry that you assume people know, but because you're always providing the service. But sometimes just jot down tips for your industry and send it out to your customers. Doesn't have to be an invitation to anywhere. I'm looking at some of the people who are on the call. What do you know about your industry that your clients should know? Maybe you send them an email just saying hello. Maybe you work with a graphic designer to develop a flyer and you just jot down tips. I know there's a dentist on the call tonight, and this is a time I'm thinking, just a reminder, send your patients a reminder. Remember, if we're not coming in the office on a regular basis, remember to floss, remember to brush after every meal. So people need or could appreciate gentle reminders. I know there's someone else on this call who is a spin instructor. Just a reminder of the value of getting out. You may not be able to come into a facility and cycle, but what are some tips on some of the kinds of exercises that you can do inside your home? What kind of cardio can you do for 10 or 15 minutes? What kind of power walking can you do outdoors? What distance? So don't assume that people are thinking and mindful of these things that they do on a regular basis. And that gives you a level of support and feedback, but you also don't know how far that email is going to travel. Because what we know is people are fighting during this time, and it's easy to forget. So remember, for example, if you're doing exercises, don't eat so many snacks, don't eat so much junk food. Remember, in the middle of a pandemic, how much water you should be drinking. So communicating with your clients may be more than I'm still here, but give them tips about keeping their health, keeping their business going, things you take for granted. Any feedback from anyone? It is 6:38. We said we were going to go till 7. LeVar has finished his formal presentation, and we have been trying to bring you up to speed on what we talked about 2 weeks ago. In case you missed that webinar on technology, we are trying to bring you up to speed on some of the things we discussed last night with cash flow, understanding cash flow, and tomorrow we're going to move into sustainable growth, how to position your firm for the future. Are there questions? Any comments that we have from any of our attendees?
Marla,
Yes, sir.
I just want to piggyback on what you said. I think that's a great idea. If you are a spin instructor, you may want to videotape yourself or record a video of you practicing these exercises and sending that out. If you're a dentist, 5 ways to optimize your smile, right? And show them how to floss, show them how to brush their teeth, show them how to use a tongue scraper, show them the difference between mouthwash that contains alcohol and mouthwash that doesn't contain alcohol, and what may be better for you. What's the difference between fluoridated and non-fluoridated toothpaste? just these different things that a lot of us aren't even privy to will certainly solidify that you are a trusted advisor. So creating a video, continuously putting out information, staying top of mind, and staying in front of your customers is one of the best ways to optimize your business right now.
You know, and I think that's interesting because since so many of us are working and we're spending so much time at home, it is easy to become lazy and to not be on top of our game as much as we are when we're going back and forth out of the office, running errands. You would be surprised. I was on a call last week, maybe the week before, and one of the people on the call and it was a guy, he was talking about how comfortable he is working at home. And he skips showering some days. So even practicing good hygiene, don't take anything for granted during this time. Put, even if it is the obvious, for each of you who are on the call and the businesses that you have, tell people the obvious, give them tips, remind people, because sometimes we walk around in a haze during this pandemic. So give people good tips, and keep it simple. Just remind them of things that they should be doing to keep their mind active, to keep their bodies strong. Because again, we are going to come out of this, but we want to come out of this stronger and better. We don't want to come out worse because we neglected some things that are usually a part of our daily routine. Quinn is showing the upcoming webinars that we're going to have. Again, we talked about the 6-month webinar series on Is It Just Me? Mental health during the time of COVID-19 and civil unrest. So those webinars will be the third Tuesday of each month. We started last month in October. The next one is going to be the third Tuesday in November, and we're going to talk about structural racism and civil unrest. We invite you to make sure that you sign up, go to our website, sign up for each one of those sessions. It will only be 1 hour from 9 in the morning until 10. But we are bringing in subject matter experts. We are partnering with the Scattergood Foundation and Spectrum Health Services. So we encourage you to sign up, come out, and hear the statistics that support how this environment, how these circumstances physically impact people. Then on next Thursday, we're going to work with the Rebuild office in the city of Philadelphia, 1:30 on Thursday afternoon, and we're going to talk about the Rebuild project and financing that will help you as you are pursuing contracts in that project. More on the webinar resources are on your screen right now. We encourage you, jot these down, or you can replay this presentation on the PIDC blog, but make sure that you are researching all of these opportunities to make your business more efficient. And as you make your business more efficient, you are on the path to growth. I think that is it. Are there any other questions? Any comments for LeVar? Any questions for? No questions? I could start calling on people. Let's see. Andre, how about if you unmute your mic and tell us a little about yourself? Let's make this a networking session right here. Andre, can you unmute your mic?
Yes, good evening. How are you?
Fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm fine.
Tell us what type of business, what's the name of your company?
My company is called Dre's Water Ice and Ice Cream.
No way, we know you.
How are you? Good afternoon.
We're doing fine. So tell us how you've been able to pivot during this time. Tell us what you're doing. Where can we find Dre's Water Ice and Ice Cream?
Right now, well, this summer we pivoted. We did a CBD water ice. We did that. Early on during the pandemic, we transitioned to online sales, basically prepackaging the water ice and doing deliveries. So we did that for probably the early spring, early summer, and then we did a couple events that were couple state fairs. There wasn't a good turnout.
Have you partnered with any other businesses where you can provide your product?
I have not. I did a lot of corporate events. That's another thing we did in reference to pivoting. So we did a lot of corporate events. So that's how we were able to survive this summer. But yeah, that was basically it.
Okay, are you still doing deliveries?
I am still doing deliveries. I'm working on a partnership now with a local artist, and I made a brand partnership with a local artist where I made a special flavor for him, and we're gonna start pushing that. I guess for the fourth quarter, and try to get that out to my customers as well as his, and see if we can start a new division within Dre's with a basically called a brand partnership where we make special flavors of ice cream and water ice for different celebrities, entertainers, or sports players.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna remember that you are on this call, and I'm gonna follow up with you.
Not a problem.
So make sure you stay on. Bob, can we unmute you? Can we call on you, Bob? Bob, can you unmute your mic? Gwen, have you been able to unmute Bob?
Yes.
Okay. Bob, can you hear us? Can you unmute your mic? So we can hear how you are making out during this time.
He says no mic.
Okay. How about Eric? Can we hear Eric?
There we go.
Are you?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
Okay, that's great. My name is Eric Truxon. I'm an electrician for a very long time. This is great. I mean, the one thing that you guys always talk about is marketing and stuff like that. But in particular, the one thing that caught my attention, which always is reinforced every time entrepreneurs or business owners or small business owners get together, it keeps you going, sort of in a time of need. It's good you get to talk to people who have similar situations, as opposed to, most of the day everybody's looking to you for answers. Now I get a chance to look for answers.
Great.
And
That's good.
That makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good.
Yeah, because a lot of times you don't have the answers, but you can't tell them that.
And that's one of the things that we have found, and we've tried to encourage, whether we are in the office doing workshops face to face. We are so mindful that there's so much pressure on entrepreneurs to have the answers all the time, because you've got employees who are looking to you for answers. You've got customers and clients who are looking to you for answers. Sometimes you just need to be someplace where someone can pour into you and help answer your questions. And you can let down your guard and be vulnerable and absorb what is being offered. So I appreciate that. And we work intentionally to try to create that environment. How about Marjorie? Marjorie, can I call on you? Marjorie, can you unmute your mic? Quinn, is Marjorie unmuted?
Yes.
Okay, maybe Marjorie is bashful. Maybe she'll come back on. Brenda, tell us how you've been making out in the pandemic. Can you unmute Brenda? Brenda, can you unmute your mic? Tell us the name of your company, what you do.
Okay, my company is Management and Environmental Technologies. We do management, we do technical assistance, we do computer training, we do development services with the community in terms of economic development. We have focused ourselves on PennDOT up until the COVID kicked in. So now with the challenges in marketing effectively.
Challenges in marketing.
Mhm.
Okay. So maybe there is someone on the line who understands marketing, has been able to help someone else, or is familiar with someone who specializes in marketing. You
I
want to
wanted,
try to, go ahead, LeVar.
I wanted to ask, what specific challenges are you having with your marketing?
Well, it's finding the right person to present it to at this time that is able to make decisions versus deferred decisions. I mean, the market is slow in terms of contracting. We do some contracting with the local area of Philadelphia, but expanding to the prime contractor market is a little difficult right now with the PennDOT side.
I see. Have you tried to utilize LinkedIn or reached out deeper into your network?
I have not utilized LinkedIn, so I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, I would certainly try it, because that's where you're going to come in contact with these decision makers. And again, building that relationship virtually is certainly going to help you. A lot of people are at home right now, so it
Yeah.
may be a little bit easier to get on a call with them.
Yeah.
And you really don't have anything to lose at this point. Reach out to that person that you may not have reached out to before and let them know that you're still in business, you're a viable operation, and you're willing to build the relationship.
Okay, that's a good idea. Thank you.
You're
You know
welcome.
what I am looking for since you raised that point? Does anyone know how to get access to Harrisburg, the bureau, the corporation bureau there? I tried, but they said that they're not in. But there may be some other way of accessing data from Harrisburg. I'm a Pennsylvania corporation, and I need some
So
data. Mhm.
my suggestion would be, if you know the department, if you know the State Department,
I do.
if you know the State Department, then sometimes there are names and contact information, whether it's a telephone number or an email address. And even though people are working remotely, I know at PIDC, my email address is still working. So I respond to my emails, my telephone number at my desk in the office. I check that usually once or twice a day. So even though people are not in the office, if you call and leave a message, they're either monitoring their telephone calls. Some people are forwarding their telephones into a cell phone. So even in an economic shutdown, people are still available. It just may take them a little more time. I'm actually returning calls faster working from home than
Yeah.
I do when I'm in the office, because I just don't have as many distractions
Yes.
sitting in when I'm in the
Yes.
office.
Yes.
So I would suggest that if you have the department, look
Me too.
the name of the department up on the state's website. Look for the particular information that you need, and there's usually the name of a person, a telephone number, and people are getting back to people even during this time. They just may not be picking up the phone, but they always call back.
Okay. I'll try that.
Great. And keep
Okay.
us posted. Keep us posted on how that works out.
Okay, super.
You try it yourself, and then if it hasn't worked out for you, give us a call or shoot me an email, and we'll see how we can help you also.
Okay, thanks.
Sure. Anybody else? Anthony. Anthony's on the call. Anthony is my good colleague at PIDC. Anthony, you've heard everything that we've talked about tonight about people optimizing their business, the value of using technology. Is there anything that you would like to add to this conversation?
Hi, Marlon. I think Lavar did a wonderful job. He covered everything, and you did a good job giving some examples. So I think you guys got it covered. Great
Well,
job.
thank you, Anthony. Thank you. Anthony works in what we call our portfolio management department, and that is where we monitor our clients to make sure they are not running into problems in repaying their loans. And so, Anthony, this is a busy time because everyone is trying to generate revenue to make sure that they're able to keep up with their expenses in the time of reduced revenue. So for those of you who are feeling that, you're where so many others are. But I'm glad that you're on the call tonight. Hopefully you found value in the things that LeVar was able to convey. Hopefully he answered your questions. If there are still questions that you have, please join us on tomorrow, which is the last part of our 3-part series. And we're going to talk about sustaining your business, positioning your firm for the future. And that's a subject that is relevant for right now. What are you doing to position yourself? We are going to come out of this pandemic. We are going to go back to normal. We will go back face to face, having lunches face to face. So what are you doing now to prepare for that time? Yes, you are trying to generate revenue to deal with today, but you also have to start thinking about and using this time to help you think about, how am I going to come out of this and what am I going to do? So these are good times. So one of my managers always says the good that comes out of a crisis. And we certainly are in that time. LeVar, is there anything that you want to say as we end? It is 6:59.
Yes, I do. So there is a lot of information that was provided in tonight's webinar. And I understand that it can be overwhelming, but again, let's focus on what we can control directly in front of us, incorporate some of the solutions that are going to help you optimize your core processes, build some of these relationships virtually, join some of these entrepreneurial networks online, optimize your LinkedIn profile, let people know that you're open for business, bounce ideas off of your service providers, your accountant, your attorney, your banker, PIDC. You can send me an email. We're here to help you. We want you to be successful, and we're trying our best to give you the tools so that we can help to increase the probability of your success. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. And this same time tomorrow at 5:30, we look forward to seeing you. Jasmine, Quinn, anything before we sign off?
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Good
Have a
evening.
blessed night.